Our next speaker is Mr. Aiman Mazahreh from STS. Aiman graduated with a BS in a degree in electrical engineering from San Diego State University in 1981 and has been active in the field of technology ever since. Aiman co-founded STS, a leading IT solutions provider in Jordan and the region, of which he is today the CEO. More recently, Aiman has been focusing on navigating STS's digital transformation journey, where he is driving STS's strategy to transform how the business operates and delivers value to all stakeholders, proving yet again the importance of solid leadership in delivering change. Aiman, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Greg, for this opportunity and for organizing this, what I call a timely event, because it comes at a time when the government is embarking on a new strategy for digital transformation. And the whole country is really taking, for the first time, in my opinion, a serious effort into bringing Jordan into digital economy. And I have to commend His Excellency Ahmed Hanande and the team at the ministry for putting down what I could see a serious strategy with an action plan that is executable. And I think Minister Hanande is really pushing, and he's been talking about the bureaucracy and the red tape of the government. But for the first time, I'm really hopeful that we are finally going to see the transformation happening at the government level. And we are the private sector. I think we have a role too, to complement the effort of the government to bring digital economy into Jordan. In my short presentation, I'll try to be brief, precise, to the point. And I thought best thing I can do today is really share with you our experience, my experience at STS in doing our own digital transformation. We started our journey in 2018. We're in the middle of it, and I can tell you we're nowhere near the end of it. It's a long journey, but we started it and we're in it. So I thought I'll share with you some of the things that we have seen and we still see, and this could be beneficial, if you wish, to the respected audience who is listening to us today. I had a presentation and I was going to share it with you, but as usual, I do the presentations and I said, put it off, speak your mind, improvise, because it's going to come out better. So I shared the presentation with you, Greg, that I decided the very last minute, and my marketing team said, what did you do? We've been working with you on this presentation. And yeah, I decided to ditch it and tell you what I have seen from my experience as the CEO of the company. Number one, there is no one size fits all. So whatever I'm going to tell you today does not necessarily can work with your company or your organization. There's no one size. Each company has its own DNA. And though the components and the pillars of digital transformation is probably the same across the board, we're not inventing something here. However, the approach can be different and according to your DNA. So that's lesson number one. You do your transformation in a way that fits with your culture and your DNA as a company or as an organization. Second, we don't have time. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We don't have time to do trial and error because the world is moving at a very fast pace. So my advice, and something we've done before, is to hire a consultant. Bring someone or a subject matter expert. Bring someone on board who has done digital transformation in a place or an organization similar to yours. And I underline similar to yours. He's done it. He's seen the errors. He's seen how things work out. Let him come in. Let him live inside your company. Sit with the staff. Sit with yourself. Develop a plan. And let the staff work with the plan. You don't want a plan landing on top of them because they will not buy into it. If they work with it and they see it progressing and they're part of the plan, you have better chances of them working on it. So this consultant or a subject matter expert, bring him on board, Let him understand your DNA, let him understand how you do things, the way you do things in life, and then you go to the next step. And what is the next step? A plan, not a strategy. I hate the word strategy. It scares me. When I hear strategy, I think of piles of books and piles of files, and they often end up on the shelf. Put a plan, a workable plan, milestones, deadlines, clear objectives, not so long, not a 5-year plan. 2 to 3 years is good enough for me, because from my experience, after 2 years, you're going to change things as a plan. So don't put a very long-term plan, put what I call a medium-term plan to build your transformation. Okay, so we have a consultant, he's doing the plan. What's next? Budget. And let me say this, you have to do the investment. And technology is expensive. Technology itself is expensive, and the people who run the technology are expensive. Let's face it, digital transformation, the new technologies, all of them, cloud computing, security, artificial intelligence, big data, they're all new. So there are many in this world who have experience in these technologies. So what do we have? Shortage of supply, high demand. What's going to happen? Prices are going to go up. So those resources are expensive. However, if once you made a decision, to build your digital transformation, you have to put the budget, you have to allocate it, and don't cut corners. Please don't cut corners along the way. When you start cutting corners, you start sooner or later you're going to dip in a hole, and then you're going to spend even more to get out of that hole because it was saving costs. And again, once you started, there is no going back. You've already invested, you've already spent money. So keep head on. Though you'll find difficulties, you'll be seeing hurdles, sometimes you don't see the end of the tunnel, keep going and keep investing. Budget is necessary. Plans without budget will not work. Have a plan, we have a budget. Third thing you have to do, it takes time. It takes a very long time to get things going. It's changing the way you do work.
You're muted, Aiman, somehow.
I don't know. Am I back on?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I don't know how I'm muted. I didn't touch anything. So technology is working against me now. Okay. So again, it takes time. You need to be patient. Sometimes you will see that you're not moving fast enough. Fine, but keep the determination to keep going with the plan. What's next? Once you have a plan and you start implementing it, you have to hire what I call a digital transformation manager. You need someone who can monitor the plan, make sure the milestones are met, make sure all the departments in the organization are working as supposed they work, and they are the one, he's the one who's going, he or she will raise a red flag when things are not moving the way they should. So that position is critical for any organization that needs to do its own digital transformation. And it will start with one person, but eventually you will add more people because the amount of work is going to increase. You'll have to have more people, and you'll end up having what I call the digital transformation unit inside the organization. That is something that you will see as you go forward, and it's necessary. So we've done all that. So what is digital transformation? What is it really? My simple definition, if you Google it, you'll find definitions for it. My simple definition for it is changing the way you do work to do better efficiency, to have higher efficiency. Because when we're more efficient, we'll be doing more business, we're generating more business, we're more profitable. That's from a private sector side. From a government side, you're doing better services to the citizens, and you'll become more efficient, and you have a more competitive. So it's about efficiency. This is what my definition of digital transformation. And if you're doing it just because this is the hype, or you're doing it because you want to be a cool company, don't do it, because it's one hell of an expensive way to become cool. That's not what it is about. It's serious work, and it costs money, and it costs a lot of money. So be cool doing something else, not in digital transformation. Anyways, again, what do you do to do your digital transformation? From our perspective as STS, we said, okay, first thing, we need to go to the cloud because this is how you become more efficient, going from on-prem to the cloud. So we built our cloud, we call it the STS cloud, and we put most of our application on the cloud. Then once you go to the cloud, you're vulnerable to whenever you're online. The more you're online, you're vulnerable to the attacks by the invaders and by the hackers. So we have security around your cloud. So we built our SOC, Security Operations Center, and we're doing that. So that's on the outside. While you're doing this on the outside, and you're putting your application on the cloud, and you're inviting your customers, and you host them on your cloud, there is a lot of work internally that you need to do. You can't go to your customers or to whoever and you tell them, I'm going to do digital transformation for you, when your own house is not digitized yet. So in parallel track, you have to do your work internally. And first thing you have to do is look at all the processes inside the company, inside the organization. And you'll find out when you investigate it, some of them are quite unnecessary, are just red tape. Some need to cut the workflow and to make it less bureaucratic and more dynamic. Once you've done this, you revise, you re-engineer your processes, then you automate, then you apply your technologies. And what is the core, what is the infrastructure for this? Is data. You have to have your data cleansed and in one place. This is one of the challenges, and Mr. Batani will probably agree with me, with the government today. This is the biggest challenge, having data fragmented across ministries, across public offices, and each data tells you something, a story. And I know the ministry today is in one of the prime objectives is to unify the data, have it in one place, so there's only one source of information. Same thing applies to you in the private sector, in your company. You have to have what I call data bank, where all the data is in place. Then you start creating your services, then you start automating it. Great. So we did the internal work. We automated. By the way, we only done half of our processes, because this is an ongoing work. What's next? What's next is the following. You're going digital. So you need to find a digital way for your staff to collaborate. And this is one of the lessons of COVID. COVID made us realize this earlier, or maybe late. Your staff works online, virtual. This is fine, this is dandy. Your staff will tell you we're more productive, we're much more productive when we're working from home. I take that, I understand it. However, if all of us are working from our homes, what happens? We lose the sense of what I call the togetherness, the oneness. We become a group of freelancers where we sit at our homes, we'll do whatever work for whoever pays more. This is risky. You lose the spirit of the company when we work from our homes. So what do? This is where you come in digital transformation. You create what I call digital workplace, a portal, an environment, a place where employees can collaborate. And what do I mean collaborate? They share information, they talk, they chit chat. I tell you what, I often refer to what I call the cooler corner. You know the cooler corner in each company, there's a corridor and there's a cooler, and employees take the break and they go and take a sip of water, and two of them are sitting there and they talk. They chit chat. Fine. That's not bad. That's how you create friendship. That's how you create the sense of unity among your staff. Now, how do you transform this cooler corner to the digital world? This is where digital tools come and you collaborate. And we did that. We created an environment where our staff can share information, share experiences, put blogs, comments, criticize, and that you create that sense of togetherness in this virtual world of ours. Then the last thing is what I call digital customer experience. Whatever experience that you have with the customer has to be digitized. That's a session on its own, and I know it will be covered by our Chief Operation Officer in his presentation. Last thing, take most of time. Last thing, and this is the most challenging from my experience and the most difficult, and anyone who has done this will tell you this. The most difficult thing in doing digital transformation is the culture and the mindset. It's our human nature, all of us, that we're comfortable with what we do. We create comfort zone to us. We come to the office, we know exactly what we do, how we do it, and we're happy with it and we're good with it. Now, for someone to come, that's going to change. We have to change that. Good luck. This is where the pushback will happen. This is where the resistance will happen. And it's natural. It happened to all of us. It happened to Microsoft in Redmond, with Oracle, with everyone. So it's not only you. At least that's good to know. It's not only you. It's not just your staff who's resisting it. This is the thing of the world. This is the human nature. How do you deal with it? You do awareness sessions, lots of it. You do retreats. You take your staff to a retreat somewhere. You isolate them. No phone calls, no wives on the phone, no children. Sit there and talk about it. And let them enjoy the place. Take them to a nice place where enjoy them. It could be Dead Sea, it could be Aqaba, but isolate them and start explaining to them, why are we doing this? Once they start understanding why they're doing this, then they'll start working with you. And it's not going to stop there. This is an ongoing thing. Messages, WhatsApp, keep pumping and pushing messages on them on how to do digital transformation. Now, I'll tell you this. Some will buy into this. And I call those are the believers. Others will not. No matter how much you've done, no matter how many awareness sessions you've done, they'll just not buy into it. Well, guess what? This is the train, and we're moving. We're leaving the station. Those who are hop in will continue the journey, and those who refuse to hop in will be left behind. That's the reality of things. I'm going to stop here. I hope I gave you what we went through, and I hope I wish you all success in your digital transformation. Like I said, it's not one size fits all. All I can tell you is now, speaking as a country, with the drive that the ministry is pushing for digital transformation, and like I said, I think this is the first time I see a serious push into it. We as the private sector, we have to do our part too. We have to create our digital transformation plans as well, so we complement the government. If we want to build a digital Jordan, it's the private and the public. We have to collaborate, and I know this is one of the best of times to build this collaboration between us. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Greg, for the invitation, and I wish you a happy conference over the next 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aiman. That was a great way to sort of set the scene. It was very inspirational. So thank you for that.